Assalamu alaikum, welcome back everyone. My name is Wali and today I'm here with Dr. Anand. So, Assalamu alaikum, thank you so much for joining me today. And over to you for a quick introduction.
Well, Walaikum Salam. I'm Dr. Anand. I came to the UK as a doctor at the age of 32 from India. And very soon I found out from a fellow from Karachi, a Memon chap from Karachi who said, उर्दू में बोलता हूँ कि आप मरीजों के साथ बहुत प्यार से बात करते हैं, हॉस्पिटल डॉक्टर कभी ना बनिएगा, आप खुश रहिएगा as a general practitioner. So any case, so I went ahead and trained as a GP because of this Memon guy like Rehan Allahwala from Karachi. So I spent my time being a doctor for 3-4 years, preparing to be a general practitioner, which means a community doctor. I passed the exams of here. I went into a very important practice. I lived upstairs and worked downstairs. No doctor in UK does that because most doctors are scared of the patient. They live far away. I lived upstairs and I promoted complementary therapies like acupuncture, homeopathy, ruqya, tibbi, all the Muslim, Hindu, yoga and all that alongside normal medicine. I went on, while I was doing that, I went on to radio, Spice FM, and I used to do 10 hours live broadcast. I left that, and during COVID, I did 4 hours a day in the morning in English in this room. I mean, this room is all kind of, if you can see, there's a blanket up there with a kala kapra on top. It's a proper blanket to make it sound adjusted, not soundproof, but so that the sound doesn't bounce and it doesn't sound echoey. So anyway, enjoyed that. And then, I've got the Jarasim of something new all the time. Jarasim, bacteria. I joined the Conservative Party. And while the party is going downhill from 450 seats to 120, I'm the only one in the whole country that gained a seat on the 2nd of May. I worked very, very hard. I worked excessively hard. In a year, I do 1.5 million steps, knocking on doors and meeting people. Of course, I do social media. Of course, I do paper. But आँख से आँख क्या कहते हैं, eyeball to eyeball जो बात होती है ना, that's really binds people. So I won with a good majority in a pure white area and a pure rich area, like your defense colony type of area in Newcastle. That's a short version. Okay.
Okay, that was a really nice introduction. So, a question for when you were a doctor. Do you think that Western and Eastern medicine can work cooperatively?
I think we should not depend on Western medicine unless you're seriously ill.
Okay.
I've got an adopted son from Karachi, living in Lahore, now in Vilnius, called Aurangzeb. His brother is a doctor. Now watch this. If he feels dehydrated, they put a drip. My God, how can you put a drip in someone's home? Lekin chalta hai. So Western medicine should be used only when you're seriously ill. If you walk to your doctor, don't go there. You should use every medicine possible to avoid, because Western medicine is very dangerous. Every tablet has many effects, many side effects that we still don't know. I can give you so many examples. So I'm not against Western medicine. If I was ill, if I had a broken leg, if I'm dying of pneumonia, but why should I have pneumonia? Western medicine teaches you don't do anything, I'll look after you. No, you keep your weight low, do some exercise, sleep well, be happy with people, serve other people, so your immune system is up. Because the more Western medicine starts understanding neuroscience, the more it will turn towards the East. I'll give you an example. Absolutely recent research. Rats, they like the smell of almond, badam. But when the rat gets a smell, the rat starts increasing the number of receptors that are sensitive to badam. In its own lifetime, 1 saal, 2 saal, jo bhi bacha rat jeeta hai. But when that rat dies, its baby also has more receptors. In our Indian tradition, we call it sanskar. So I or you, we're all from India originally. If we eat too much, you get a pot belly. If the Englishman eats too much, he doesn't get a pot belly the way it is distributed. Do you know why? Because once upon a time, there was a lot of famines in India. So my genes know, khana mila hai to kha lo. So you'll see our people have huge difficulty in losing weight, and especially Lahoris. So genetically, these things are transmitted. So what was taught in the ancient books, the West is understanding now. So Western medicine is good. Obviously, if I have pneumonia, broken leg, heart attack, why should I have a heart attack? Why should I? Unless I'm fat, drink smoke too much, smoke, drink too much. What else? Lazy, angry with people all the time. So I've studied yoga with electronics. I've studied Indian classical music with electronics. I've now got a Fitbit that not only measures the number of steps, and as I'm talking, I'll show you
Okay.
this
Oh, by the
Fitbit.
way, about what you're talking about genetics and gaining weight, one thing I found out a few days ago, just randomly, was that Indians, like, what do you call it, they struggle, some of them struggle from skinny fat. And that's genetic from when the British colonized India. And that's
Absolutely.
because they had to, like, depend, they were starving.
They would eat out of rubbish bins and waste paper baskets. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. So you're really up to date. So what I'm going to show you is I've been on this machine now for 18 weeks.
What
So
is
that's when
it?
I started. Next week, all going smoothly.
What are all the
And
greens and
the green,
orange?
the deepest greens means I'm 75% in perfect health. Orange
Oh,
means that. But look, I had a big turmoil with the Independence Day, Indian Independence Day. I'm the chairman of the Indian Association. Those two reds are the day when I was going through a lot of trauma. So I'm constantly aware. I mean, this doesn't just measure my steps, it measures my heart rate variability. So it's about, yoga or meditation or prayer or ibadat, they're all the same thing to me. It's just different
okay.
brand. So when you do ibadat, your mind calms down. If you hate someone, you suffer. Whether you take it from Islamic point, Buddhist point, Hindu point, Christian point, you suffer because you're hating that person. Mera dushman, mera dushman. But if you let go, today, this morning, 2 years ago, I was doing some filming and this fellow was shouting, "Have you taken permission? Kya, kya?" And he was shouting. I met him last week. He was limping. I said, "You're limping." He's supposed to hate me. I'm supposed to hate him. He said, "Yeah, I've got a bad leg." Today, I was filming and he was sitting doing crossword. I said, "Have you got any words with Z?" He said, "No." I said, "Zulu, zoo." And he said, "Do you not remember we had an altercation?" I said, "We didn't have an altercation. You shouted at me. I replied, and I'm sorry." He said, "No, no, I should be sorry." Shake hands. What's your name? Ernie Brown. So I don't let people hate me. I just go into the enemy territory. That's my style. So
That
I've
is
been
a
in
wonderful
Pakistan
style. Oh
53.
my God.
मैं अनारकली में घूमा हूँ लाहौर में अकेले. What have I got to do with Pakistan? My relatives didn't come from Pakistan. I'm a pure thoroughbred Bihari from India. But I want to see क्या होता है पाकिस्तान क्या चीज है. कुछ नहीं. It's the same people, same language, same food, same riti rivaj, same everything. So
Yeah, and yet, like, biryani is still such a big discussion of who made it, India or Pakistan. Literally, that's how similar we are. We have the same roots and
Hyderabadi
everything.
biryani with chini kam. Did you see that movie? Amitabh Bachchan, chini kam. So
No, I
anyway,
haven't seen that.
it's called chini kam. So anyway, I have been in the Pakistani Cultural Society for 14 years as a paid up member. Do you think everything they say I love? But I'm learning patience there. I'm learning better Urdu, Khalis Urdu, Takalluf, not Jira, Zira. So when I speak the Hindi with the slightly Urdu style, everyone says, "अरे क्या हिंदी बोलते हैं?" और अगर हम कहें जीरा है ना, बतवा, you are from Karachi, you will hear Bihari talking like that. हम लोग दोनों ना सिनेमा देखे थे, 2 रोटी खाए थे. But what's the need of that? I mean, we should aspire. Also, I used to play the flute in the Pakistani Cultural Society. And a year ago, I decided, no, I'll sing. Jaisa bhi hoga. And I started singing and now I've sung. So,
Interesting, interesting. So actually, I want to get back at you and music, but for now, I want to ask you that: do you think that Ayurvedic medicine? Do you think that it can be used for prevention or
yes,
treatment?
yes, yeah. No, treatment, by the time you have reached the end of the line of treatment, you're a gone case. If Ayurveda, if losing weight, sleeping well, losing weight, acha. Also, Ayurveda teaches you something called Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Vata people are tall, thin people who are great thinkers. Pitta of warriors. I'm a warrior. Squat built, muscular, always ready for a fight. And nice, fat, happy chappy, that is Kapha. English had endomorph, ectomorph, mesomorph before Western science completely killed all that off. Because every individual is different. You know, my liver, your liver, apna Indian liver, Pakistani liver ek hi hai, is much smaller. A woman's liver is yet smaller. So your liver is tiny compared to a male Englishman. And yet I've seen trying to give liver transplant. वो बेचारी का पेट इतना बड़ा है, liver इतना बड़ा है. So we are genetically different. We taking alcohol dehydrogenase is very low in Asians. So if we drink, if you should drink very little, but what दिखा देंगे हम गोरे हैं, I'll drink more. It's all stupidity. I mean, there's no need to drink, but if you do, a small amount is enough. But coming back to medicine, a very small amount of medicine works on me. Whereas the Englishman will take 4 tablets, 2 is enough for me, 1 is enough for me. So we are
How is
different
that?
because we're genetically different. We process things different. Our skins are different. Our thinking is different. Our genetics. Okay, you know the chromosomes, since you're interested in that sort of field, the chromosomes, uske upar hota hai, there are caps called telomere, Telemere. And the longer they are, the longer you live. You're happier, you're longer live. If you think positive, if you watch the news all the time, Ukraine mein kya ho raha hai, Hamas ka kya ho raha hai, bhai hone do, I can't change it. Oh no, हम हमारी भाई अपना देखभाल कर लो भाई, इतना ही बहुत है. So that is how I won in UK. Of course, I'm interested in what happens in Kashmir, but not to the extent of narebaji and getting excited. मैं क्या कर लूँगा जी? I've been on radio and television in Pakistan, what is called Royal News Television. And I said, why are we discussing Kashmir? If Imran Khan and Modi can't sort it, who the hell are we? नहीं जी, इसका बोलना चाहिए. अरे, don't act big, just be small. छोटी मुंह बड़ी बात, है ना?
Okay.
So my style is enjoy what you have instead of being miserable about what you don't have.
Okay, so a question I wrote down here, so I wouldn't forget to ask you, is okay, as someone who does music and study alternative medicine, I believe, Ayurvedic, do you believe in the benefits of raga therapy?
There's nothing called raga therapy. It's just West adopts it. If you sing, there's many reasons. I'll give you the simplest reason. Every time you take an in breath, your heart speeds up. Every breath, every single breath. I mean, you go, when you come home after the sweat, mar gayi. But when you see a snake or a rope, you go. So in breath is always excitatory and out breath is relaxing. In 30 seconds, I'll relax you. Okay? So start counting. Take a breath slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Close your eyes. In. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. In. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. How do you feel?
Peaceful, that's for sure.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
That's a very cool party trick. I'll remember that.
It is a very cool party trick. So my sister and I studied this and we wrote a book. That's my own band.
You wrote a book?
Book. We call it the fat visiting card. We call it Heart Power. Basically, it's yoga. Yoga is actually only breathing. You add abdominal breathing, this nostril breathing, that nostril. Those are details. Of course, they work. But 50% of the benefit is just, I'll tell you something shocking. When smoking was stopped in public places in Britain, I got 30 of my patients. I had a bigger house than this and sat them down. Do you remember cigarette holders? Long pipe and Hollywood ladies would smoke like this with a cigarette there. If you look at cigarette holder, I gave them all a cigarette holder. I said, close your eyes and imagine, not a pipe, not a wala pipe, but a cigarette holding tube. It's not the vape, it's just a pipe with filter in which you put in a cigarette. So the cigarette is out there and you're smoking here. And I said, now imagine you're smoking. And they all felt relaxed because in the method of smoking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2. So smoking is yoga, except you get cancer as well and so on. So I always think outside the box, different from everyone. So I read a lot, I watch a lot of videos. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I don't read, I listen and watch a lot of videos of swamis, of peers, and anything I don't like, I particularly read. because there's something in me that's making me say, I don't want it. So it's a way of, it's called the shadow side. I'm coming as a nice guy to you, but behind me is also a murderer who I have tamed. We are just people, aren't we? Look at what happened
Mm-hmm.
during partition. Look at what happens in Gaza. How can human beings just bomb people? एक कटता है तो कितना दुखता है. And how can people just... So I'm not discussing politics. I'm talking about the ravages of war, how bad it is. And violence makes your brain empty. You can't think creatively. So this morning, which phone? This one. I had not done this thing for a long time. So today I went out, said, oh, let's do a live. So here we are. It's a kind of a feminine virtue. I'm not saying women have it. I'm saying it's a feminine kind of behavior. So this is my drone following me, and I'm talking into it. It's a little baby drone. And
Oh, okay, okay.
then I go and interview a man who sold his company for 99 million pounds. It's the biggest furniture company. He's an
Which
old
is
Jewish
today?
guy. Just today, just before you.
Oh, wow.
So I'm learning a lot from you as a young person. When you're 14, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When my mother was 14, she wrote this book. She didn't write it in a book form. She wrote short
I have
stories.
competition now.
Yes, you have. You're just like my mother. So my mother wrote it in 1945 in colonial British India and got it published without her father's knowledge from a little place called Hazaribagh. Chota sa, it's like a small town. Chota sa hai. Not like Karachi, Bombay, that kind. And this is the only thing I've done for my mother. So she had a little book with everything written small. So I scanned it, sent it to my best friend, got it published. And in 500 pounds, I got 1,000 copies. So,
Wow.
but we learn. My own cousin in Mumbai, she's published a book that's already selling in millions. Neelam Kumar, meri Mauseri bahan khala ki ladki hai. So I look for good in people, but also in wonderful people, I found what's not good. Because in a way, I'm like a child. Arey, bada अच्छा लगा, अरे चलते उधर. And I've kept that going. I'm like you, no different. Your attitude, चलते मेला, चले देख लें, उधर क्या है? Because by the time you sit with old people, you start talking like that. अरे यार, अपनी तो एक टांग कब्र में है. अरे भाई दूसरा टांग भी डालो और जाओ, मेरे को क्यों बोर कर रहे हो? So I like life. Until the dying day, I'll be happy. My name is Anand. Anand means bliss, happiness.
Okay, that was beautiful, by the way. I just want to say I'm not trying to undermine what you said, but all I have to say is that was beautiful. I love that your mother published a book at 14. That
Yes,
is an accomplishment.
yes.
Okay,
And
so my next question.
her father, my Nana was in the jail against the Brits, and I'm sitting in Britain. She wrote Sushila Verma. Her name is Sushila Sahai. She was copying somebody. And when people read this, they said, ये तो महादेवी वर्मा का लिखा हुआ है. I said, नहीं जी, मेरी माँ का लिखा हुआ है. So when I interviewed my mother on radio, I said, माँ, अब शादी वादी क्यों की? She said, क्या करते हैं? नाना को कैसे कहते हैं कि हमको शादी नहीं करनी है, कि हमको ऑथर बनना. मेरे मुंह पर जुबान में आता ही नहीं. At that time, the daughters and fathers had that kind of abu jo kahe bas 100%. Nowadays, girls say, daddy, you might be right. I'm using AI. So time moves on. I have no
Fair.
problem with that. Whether you tell me something that's good or your grandfather is the same, to me, the truth is the truth. But what is truth except my opinion? Is there a truth? I don't know.
That is a philosophical question that we should
Exactly.
get back to. So another question is, what was the process of moving to the UK in the 90s, and how do you think it differs from today?
Okay, when I came, as a doctor, you had to pass a very tiny exam just to say that the English is good. I mean, your English is far superior to what they needed. Because what Britain always needs is a workforce. What do you call
Okay.
Mazdoor? Padha likha Mazdoor, ghatiya Mazdoor, acha Mazdoor, they need Mazdoor. Because the Brits have learned not to, main ye nahi karunga. I won't go fruit picking. So Albanians come and fruit pick. My doctors will go to Canada, America for better. So the Indian doctors come in, Pakistani doctors come in. So it was very easy. But because of bad immigration, legal and illegal, because people want votes, the Indian Congress Party and your People's Party and the Labour Party are the same person. Exactly. Vote de do, jo karna ho karo, magar aa jao, vote de dena. So there's no national spirit in some parties. And the party that's running the country doesn't have it. Usko koi fark nahi padta, aate ja. And then there are illegal immigrants. People like you will find Britain so easy because you speak English, you're smart looking, you're not in a burqa. Everything is easy about you. Serious. But there are
Oh,
people
thank
who,
you.
it's true. For someone like you, your English is perfect. I mean, you'll get grade 5 or something easily. In fact, I think you should come to Britain, and I'll support you.
I wish. Yeah, no, like English is
Well, you
actually
can
my
tell your
only
dad.
language.
You can tell your dad I've adopted you. Khatam baat. That's how I work
Thank
in life.
you.
Honest. You're like my
Okay,
baby.
okay.
So, like for instance, I
Yeah.
got a chap called Aurangzeb. I went to Lahore with some person to film, and he said, "Chachu, mere ghar chaliye." Now, Sindhi people are very soft. और चाचू बोला मेरा तो दिल पिघल गया यार ये चाचा आज तक चाचू नहीं ऐसे क्या नाम है आपका औरंगजेब नहीं आप मेरे घर चलिए so I stayed with him 2-3 days we fell in love kind of okay fine I came here I phoned him वो बोला कि आप जाकर के फोन किए अच्छा क्या आप सोचते हो मैं आकर के आपको यूज करके आपका पैसा खा गए and together we have a cattle farm in Thandola here
A
in
camel
same yeah
farm.
उसमें with 91 cattle 1/3 are mine 1/3 is the solicitor Aurangzeb's and 1/3 is his brother's Gulzeb. So Gulzeb, Aurangzeb, and Anandzeb, you can say. So, but that's how I work. I like to go where I'm not wanted because people are scared. अरे क्या होगा मर ही ना जाएंगे ज्यादा से ज्यादा को मार देगा तो मरना तो यहाँ भी है. So I always go where because I like breaking stereotypes. Now seriously,
That
if you
is
want to come to
awesome.
Britain, find out a way. I mean, I'll sponsor you.
Really? Oh
Honest,
my God, that's so sweet. I wish I could.
because you'll do the English test like that. Your English is perfect.
Thank you so much. So back to you. Um, okay. How do you manage your role as a politician for India while living in the UK?
I'm not a politician. I'm a politician born in India. That is the difference. See, you were born in Dubai. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're not the second generation Dubai, you're the first generation Pakistani. Okay, your parents might have been from Pakistan. So yours is a bit different. So though I am the first generation, I behave like the young generation. I talk to, like you, I talk to young people in the same tone. And I rather work hard and stay right to my principles than go and join a party just to. So my party has fallen from 450 votes, 450 seats to 120 seats. That's how bad the crash has been. But I've gained seat every year because I work with the people, because I go and talk to people. I link up with people. I listen to their stories. I get the potholes, get them filled. I meet the chief executive. So I do my best. When I was a doctor, same. Because I think, why do second? By the way, that's my mother and me when I was 2 years old. That's me in the
Wait,
studio. That's me
that's
and
a
my
really,
mother.
really beautiful photograph.
But if you look carefully, I'm looking at the camera. छोटे में भी बदमाश था देख रहा है कि फोटो आ रहा है कि नहीं.
Yeah, it's a really nice photo. I love it.
Yeah.
So
So,
sweet.
so really, I stay myself. When I'm talking to Boris, I've talked to Boris, Rishi, Prince Charles, King Charles, sorry, Theresa May. I've spoken to all of them. Because I just walk in where I'm not wanted. कोई डर नहीं है. और डरने का क्या है? क्या कर लेगा मेरे को? गाली दे देगा, डांट देगा ना. और ये मत करो, बुरा मान जाएगा. Oh, rubbish. Am I any less? No.
Okay. That's interesting. So you identify as a politician, if I'm
No,
correct. Do you still?
I don't identify. Look, when you're born, you're flat like IKEA stuff, chapter. Then you develop other personalities. So I've got so many personalities. I'm a round ball. Okay, I'm a politician as well. I'm a Hindu as well. I'm born in India as well. I'm 77 years old as well. I was a doctor as well. I'm a singer as well. I used to play the flute as well. I've got lots of flutes there. And by the way,
That's so.
so music actually calms the brain down. I had a EEG machine that measures your brain function, alpha, theta, delta, etc. So when you sing, the two halves join. So when you sing, it's yoga because it goes on and on and on. So your out breath is very long. So instead of adrenaline being high, your acetylcholine goes high. Instead of steroids going high, look up DHEA. DHEA is a hormone that comes from acetylcholine from being peaceful. So whether you do ibadat or meditation or prayer or puja, if your mind is empty, like peaceful, you don't need a positive mind, you need an empty mind. कुछ नहीं चाहिए बस मैं खुश हूँ. आप तो जंगल में बैठे, हाँ मगर मैं खुश हूँ। अरे आपके पास कुछ खाने का नहीं, तो क्या मैं खुश हूँ। I actually went to a place called Hubli, Hubli. उसमें एक साधु was on a पहाड़, and my then wife and I went up with a water bottle. बोले आपको चाहिए? बोले जनाब वो जो गड्ढे में पानी आता है उसी में खाता हूँ, उसी से मैं सब काम करता हूँ, और हमें लोग थोड़ा थोड़ा खाना छोड़ जाते हैं. He's been sitting on that hillock for about 10 years. So the people are like that, you know. I get inspired by people like that. I don't want that life. I'd rather talk to you and do this and that. But if things, I've lost 3 times, 3 elections I've lost, 4th one I won. But if you don't have the capacity to lose, don't enter. If
That's a
you
good
don't have,
quote, actually.
हाँ, अगर नहीं कर सकते तो ना करिए भाई, वो बहुत खतरनाक जगह है. सब कहेंगे ये हार गया, कहने दो, हमें तो कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता. हाँ ये हार गए तो हार गए, अगली बार देखना. अब अच्छा, लेकिन जीते तो I never took revenge on anyone. जीत गए, हाँ जी जीत गए. Of course I'm happy in my heart, but I don't have to shout, अरे उनको बुद्धू बना दिया, वो अपने दुश्मन को उसके नाम पे कुत्ता पाल दिया. You know all the things. We don't need all that, because your mind stays calm. Actually I was on क्या FM, some in Lahore there's a station called something FM, Shakti something FM, some उर्दू नाम. तो 2 घंटे का गपशप चला. After everyone left, he said, जनाब आपका religion क्या है, faith क्या है? I said ढूंढ रहा हूँ. हाँ, I got 62, he got 62 texts. What a beautiful answer. Because in every faith there's something. Faiths are defined by their geography. उस समय उस geography में, उस atmosphere में, उस culture में ये पैदा हुआ. उसका take out the juice. By eating dates you don't become a good Muslim. You eat dates because you were in Dubai, you like dates. मैं आम खाता हूँ, लेकिन आम खाने से अच्छा हिंदू तो नहीं बन जाता हूँ. And people fight over such stupid things. In the Pakistani culture, they said something about Hindu Muslim. I said, मेरा बांसुरी अब बांस का बना हुआ है ना, तो हिंदू है ना मुस्लिम है. People are so stuck in their very rigid thing, but they are suffering, you know.
That's true. That's true. Okay. So another question I have is, what was your political campaign like, and what do you think played the biggest part in you winning a seat?
Okay, one, I didn't mind losing. पहली बात तो ये है. If I lost, fine, I'll go again. I'll go again. I'll go again. I'll go again.
You
And
did
I
it
did.
4 times.
बस जब तक जीतेंगे नहीं हम करते रहेंगे. And secondly, in my own area, I do not believe in the safe seat. I just don't believe. Safe seat क्या? ये मेरा घर, अगर यहाँ नहीं जीतो कहीं और जीतो तो क्या मिल गया? If you can't keep your children happy and your bhatija and all are happy, you're a waste. That's my personal belief. Secondly, my campaign manager is amazing. He's a 28-year-old boy. He's just now in school. He works from 6:30 to 4:30 in school and then campaigns with me. Thirdly, I never respond to anybody else. कोई गाली दे, thank you. That is not my normal nature. कहा बोले बिहारी है ना, अभी दिखाते हैं. So over time, I had to not control. I had to wipe it out of my personality. So if someone swears, I say thank you and walk away like a British diplomat. Not कि अभी दिखाता हूँ, अभी आँख फोड़ दूंगा, क्या समझ, उसका फायदा क्या है? Because if I don't react, I might win that vote someday. Like the example I gave you. And it's not I'm looking for troublesome people, but if they're trouble, हाँ भाई, you're right, thank you, and move on. It's not my job to change him. Na? My only job is to make me a better person. So I read a lot of spirituality. I go to a philosophical society. And I'm taking the philosophical society to the council, municipal corporation, you would call it in Pakistan and India, to see if they can be given some funding to run a school. So I'm the connector. My role, basically my life has 4 things: learn, follow, teach, share. So if I learn something from you today, immediately I'll use that knowledge. Immediately. I didn't know the difference between Jabardast and Zabardast. So today in the morning I was chatting with Aurangzeb. He said, जैसे जरूरत वैसे जबरदस्त. हम कहा अच्छा ठीक है. But I'm also teaching Punjabi Urdu speaker. Punjabi Urdu speaker will say ilm. आपको इसका ilm नहीं है. और अगर मैं कहूँगा ये फिल्म बोलिए, वो कहेंगे फिल्म. हमारे चिलम नहीं है, फिल्म नहीं है. इल्म जैसे वैसे फिल्म. अच्छा हम बोलते हैं धर्मेंद्र बोलिए, धर्मेंद्र. अच्छा नहीं धर्मेंद्र, धर्मेंद्र. अच्छा मेरे पर ना हंसी है जब मैं जरूरत बोलता हूँ. So you know we all, and we should also, अगर मैं उर्दू बोलता हूँ, I don't say अप्रैल, and I don't say गवर्नमेंट, I don't say प्लेटफॉर्म. आप सुनेंगे दिन रात 24 घंटे आप यही इस तरह की अंग्रेजी सुनेंगे. Why? अगर अंग्रेजी का अल्फाज है तो आप अंग्रेजी के जैसा बोलिए, अगर आपको मालूम है। तो जब गोरे आए तो हमारा गंगा को उन्होंने गैंजेस बना दिया, आई से गंगा। भारत को इंडिया बना दिया, भारत इज भारत, इंडिया इज रिवर इंडस का नाम तोड़ करके। डू यू नो व्हाई आई एम कॉल्ड अ हिंदू? द रिवर दैट यू आर नेक्स्ट टू कॉल्ड इंडस वाज इन संस्कृत कॉल्ड सिंधु। जो फारसी लोग आए तो कहते थे वो नदी के पार जो लोग वो लोग हिंदू हैं, उन लोग को स बोलना नहीं आता, सो दिस है हिंदू। और ग्रीस को बोलना नहीं आता, वो हिंदू से हिंदू बना दिया। और हम लोग बड़े खुशी खुशी हम लोग हिंदू हैं यार। दूसरे जो नाम देगा आप वही रख लोगे, अपना नाम नहीं है। इंडिया नाम का कोई चीज ही नहीं है, बट वेरी फ्यू इंडियंस नो दैट। ऑल्सो इफ यू स्टडी, मैं गया था हड़प्पा, डू यू नो दैट द हिंदूज यूज्ड टू बी बेरिड बिफोर द क्रिमेशन स्टार्टेड? इफ यू गो टू हड़प्पा एवर, you'll find मिट्टी के बर्तन में हड्डियां. So they used to be laid out like Zoroastrians, and then the animals and all ate them up, and then the bones were put away. But as a woman, there's something you really enjoy, that when the women were buried, they were buried with their earrings, this and that, properly. A man ka haddi aise hi phek dete the. So I think Harappa was run by a woman. I really believe that, because women are highly regarded and respected. And when I'm in a council here and they talk about India, I said, this is the, not this particular one, this is the map of Harappa 5,000 years ago. Look at the roads, all like grid. And look at your Gosford. Aise to, aise to, aise to, aise. Sharam karo, mere se bahas na karo. So if they try to be racist, I show them Harappa. कि हम वहां से आते हैं. Underground drainage था. We come from a beautiful country, you know. We have true, I mean, you study that, you'll feel proud. पाकिस्तानी इंडिया बहुत छोटी बात है, हाल फिलहाल की बात है. The roots that we all come from is very ancient. तक्षशिला जो है इस्लामाबाद के बगल में, that is 3,500 years old, and there were 5,000 teachers and 20,000 students there, free. The king used to pay for it. And Britain में the students have to borrow money to pay for their studies. ये क्या हमसे बातें करेंगे? So, but I don't put out, अंदर, ये अंदर की बात है. मेरे दिल को लगता है कि हम किसी से कम नहीं है, कोई सुपीरियर तो नहीं है, लेकिन हमसे ना टकराओ यार. हमसे बोलते हैं कि when you came to this country, how was it? I said, I had 2.5 pounds in my pocket. But how did you manage? I said, I had 250,000 worth of medical degree. To produce a medical student, 250,000, 250,000 pound लगते हैं. वो तो मैं लेके आया था अपने साथ. ये नहीं देखोगे. So when you read a lot, study a lot, कोई कुछ नहीं आपको बोल सकता. You're the top dog.
I'm the top dog. I don't know if that's a reference. Anyways, also quick heads up. I don't understand Urdu that well. Yeah, that's it.
What did you not understand? Let's say it in English.
Sorry?
What did you not understand? I'm happy to repeat.
Thank you. Anyways, I didn't properly understand the story about the king. Even though like a very small portion of that was in Urdu, I feel like that was a big missing puzzle over there.
So how will you improve your Urdu? You live in Pakistan.
Yeah, that's true. I'm now going to
You're
like
an
8
Englishman
years
in
ago.
Pakistan. Okay. Well, watch Hindi movies, English movies with subtitles.
I don't watch too many movies actually. I like
No, but
documentaries.
news. If there's news nowadays, there's so much subtitling. You can read the meanings of words and you'll pick up.
That's true. Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
you're a Pakistani who doesn't know Urdu. I mean, there are such people, you know. But it won't harm you if you learned.
Yeah, that's true. Very disrespectful to my culture. So
No, not that. But you'll benefit from learning Urdu as well for your
yeah,
personal.
exactly. Connecting with the locals. You're right. So I will, and I'm slowly learning it. I think I'm getting the hang of it. My grandma's teaching me.
Oh, good.
Okay, so another question I have is okay. Most of these are political questions. Are you fine with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with anything you ask. Welcome.
Okay. Would you say the Indian government uses taxpayer money for personal expenses?
Very little.
Okay.
Very little. In fact, the opposite could be true. Modi, I'll just give you an example, exactly opposite example. You know, when people give gifts to the minister, they're not giving to him personally. They're giving to that status. Say I'm a councillor and people give me a gift in the council, not on the road. Someone feeds me, that's different. Somebody says, here's something, this medal. It's not for me, it's for that title. So the current prime minister collects all that, sells all that in auction, and gives it to education of girls. So in India, that issue is not so bad. I mean, India doesn't know how to speak for itself. In fact, the country you live in has more of that issue, much more of that issue.
That's true. That is.
Sadly,
At least
sadly,
I would know.
I mean, you can get
Okay.
anything done where you are in Karachi. You can get a birth certificate, death certificate, nationality certificate. All you have to know the right people.
Yeah, or you could fake them. So there is, as I'm aware, a lot of corruption happening in Pakistan.
It'll change.
You know,
It'll change. People are getting aware. The
people
son,
are, but
the son of the governor of Sindh is a personal friend of mine in Newcastle.
how
Such
are you
talent.
getting these connections?
Well, because people get to know me. The sadness is, why are they here? They should be in Pakistan, improving Pakistan, isn't it? But if the atmosphere is so hostile, good people say, "Chodo yaar, main chala." I came to UK. My cousin helped me because India was really poor at that time, and I have enjoyed my stay here. Truly enjoyed, and I'm still enjoying and doing new things. In Patna, it wouldn't be so easy, you know. अरे फलाना जात का है, अरे रे उसका बेटा है. Sorry, I should speak in English. He's of this caste. He's of this one son. I don't have any of that. I'm just me.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, Pakistan is like ranked 125 out of 130 in the global educational scale.
It's
Like
very
that
sad.
is
No, but you are in a wonderful place called Rehan School. You know, that is something very, it's way ahead of its time. It's really an
exactly, I agree.
amazing thing. Because I genuinely believe, I mean, I got Mr. Allawala to meet, you come to me in a minute. This guy said children need resources like you have, computer, a smartphone, internet, and go on, learn. You can't teach, you can only learn, isn't it? So the school you're in is an amazing school. It's way ahead of its time, the thinking. I met Rehan Saab 4 times in Pakistan when I went. I always get to know lovely people because I stick out like a sore thumb. I sat in Lahore. I went to the university again. And he has a, you met him, haven't you?
Yeah, I met
He-
him
He's
very
got a,
briefly.
he's got a peculiar style. So we went somewhere where I was playing the flute, and he said to this boy, "Yeah, Hindu log, I'll say it in English. Hindus are bad, aren't they?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Meet my best friend, Dr. Anand. He's a Hindu." So he shocks people into thinking outside the box. Do you know at the age of 12, he was getting into computer games and selling them so that he didn't have to join his father's business of waste paper. He's quite a
And
genius. He's
yeah.
a lovely, lovely, lovely fellow. I have a lot of huge respect for him.
Okay. By the way, that story about you playing the flute, that
Yeah, yeah.
even shocked
I
me.
was playing the flute in Model Town in Lahore. And there's a university called Minhaj University. So I know a lot of characters there. Minhaj University is beautiful insofar as they teach Islam, fine, but Christianity is taught by a Christian, Hindu faith is taught by a Hindu, Sikh is by a Sikh. A Muslim cannot teach the Hindu faith with total joy. वो कहेगा इसका हम थोड़ा एंगल बदल देते हैं, थोड़ा इस्लामियत ला देते हैं, and उसका लहजा भी उर्दूआना हो, the lehja will be more Urdu. So there are a lot of good people there. I met Hassan Nisar. He is the harshest journalist still alive. He lives underground. His wife and kids live here, and there are 2 rounds of security. I had a 3-hour conversation, and I recorded it, and it got 256,000 views on YouTube about 5 years ago. So I meet the best wherever I go. The best people because somehow I respect people with knowledge, wisdom, and I'm a thief. I like stealing ideas.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so another question I have is, by the way, these are not at all targeted, but the tone might be a bit off.
Yes,
How
say
is
what say it.
Okay, thank you. So, how is India the fifth largest economy and yet 86 million people live in extreme poverty and
Yeah,
44% of India's population is lower class? Like
yeah.
the
Now
backbone is
all
lower
3 questions. I'll tell you the question backwards. The people who don't like India keep singing about the caste system. The word castos is a Portuguese word. All the
caste.
holy, all the so-called holy books, I don't call them holy, they are very knowledgeable books, were written by people of the lower caste.
Mm-hmm.
A Brahmin is a person who gives his life to study. It doesn't have to be a Gora, Lamba, Kashmiri tribe. So I'm talking about, like, look at it in English. Mrs. Thatcher, the Prime Minister, or someone Smith. Smith means Lohar, Sonar, somebody who. So that was their job. So if I am fighting on the border for India, for England, I'm a Rajput. If I'm doing tilling of the soil, I'm that. And people have different levels, but they can move. If you are completely thick, you can't be a university professor. Whereas the West is stupid enough to say everybody must go to university. No, he doesn't have the capacity. His petrol tank is very small. So people fit in different places. Look at the film world. If you are a great actor, your children could be a great actor. So he's in the actor caste. So caste for me is a profession. So that's one. With regard to poverty, there are people who don't like India, don't want it to be the fifth economy. They would say, "Pehle sabko garib ko raise them." It will never happen. So on the one hand, India is going towards the sun. It's the only country that's landed south side of the moon. So India is a very clever country, which nowadays saying that scheme will, and people say, "Oh, it should be equal." The world is not equal. I'm sitting in England because I had very loving, kind, solid parents who did not believe in caste. I married a Brahmin girl. Then I married an English girl. Two divorces. I'm a Hindu. In Hindu, there's no word for talaq, divorce. There is no word. The concept doesn't exist because you marry for 7 lifetimes. But the world is changing, na? So what I'm saying about caste doesn't exist except in the minds of those who don't want India. And there is poverty, yes. So on the one level, there's people running America, all Indians. All the big institutions are run only by Indians. Where there's Dubai shops are there. So that class can do its stuff, whereas the people. So India provides free gas or subsidized gas to the poorest. It doesn't look at the caste. And
I'm sorry. Quick heads up. I didn't say lower caste. I meant lower class.
yeah, but lower class are for many reasons. A lot of Muslims are lower class. Why? Because they don't want to study. They're happy to live in that little hubble near Old Delhi and talk about the Mughal Badshah. यार मुगल बादशाह चले गए, बहादुर शाह जफर चला गया, अब माफ करो, थोड़ा अपना काम करो. So a lot of poorer people in Delhi you will find are Muslims, not because they are discriminated against, because science and knowledge is no, we can't. We go by the Quran. By Quran is your guidebook. But if my phone goes bad, you don't go to the Quran. That's just a practical external. So what is politics and what is science is outside. Religion and faith are for your heart, for your mind, for your spirit, for your evolution as a human being. So these lower class or lower caste, often they meet, I mean, you're not wrong that much. The Muslims in India, there's the rich Gora Muslims who are the Asharfiyas, and they are the Pasmandas who are the little short people who do puncture repair. But there's a chance for people to move. There is always racism, casteism everywhere. Do you know that 1/3 of the Indian parliament, they're looking for women? 1/3. There aren't enough women because being a politician is very difficult for a woman. वो बच्चा को देखेगी 20 लाख में मीटिंग में जाएगी. Apart from the khatra or the danger she has as being a woman, particularly. So, but India is changing very rapidly. I was in Ujjain, and it was a station airport where there wasn't those tubes and all. A ladder was coming. So there was a very pretty lady in front. I thought I can't just chat her up. I'll talk to everyone. Then I was chatting. I said, "Bहन, आप क्या करते हो?" She said, "आपका plane हमने उड़ाया है अभी." She was the pilot, and she was just dressed in civils, shalwar kameez, just because she's a commercial pilot. She doesn't need all the pips and all. And I said, I don't get baffled by all this. I said, "So, how many women serve in the commercial?" She said, 32% of commercial pilots in India are women, and I want 100%. So, slowly this is coming because you see, India, that is Bharat, has been ruled for 1,000 years by foreigners. Whether you like Mughals or hate Mughals, they are not Indians genetically. They became Indians. They got absorbed into the Indian thinking. And the one thing they didn't do was steal money from India. वही जहां बैठे वही खाया पिया जो भी अच्छा बुरा किया. They weren't that good Muslims. नमाज तो को पढ़ते नहीं थे. मक्का तो गया ही नहीं. लेकिन उनको हम हीरो बनाए चले जाते हैं. चलो कोई बात नहीं. Then came the Brits who took the money. The Brits have taken $43 trillion out of India. So when the Mughals came, India was 27% of the world GDP. 27% of the wealth was this Sone ki Chidiya. And when the Mughals had died down, it was still 27%. So Mughaloं ne jo bhi kartoot kiya, bura, acha, it doesn't matter, but they never took any money. They never sent it to Kandahar. They never sent it to Mongol area, to Turkey. They kept it there. And they became part of our culture. They became the intermarried and jaise bhi hua. So good, bad or indifferent, yeah, Mughals became us. The English, bas paisa leke bheje ja rahe hain. So 43 trillion they've taken from India, but still India has risen. So India will level out. It will level out. The personal earning is very poor, you're right, but the total capacity of India to buy has become big. So kuch to acha hua na. And the caste thing is people look for it. People look at the Prime Minister of India is a lower caste. The President of India is not only a woman, a lower caste, but a Santhali. She's an aboriginal type. Draupadi Murmu. She's a Santhali. She was living in the forest. She started becoming a teacher. She became a governor. And now she's the President of India. A woman. Black. Very black. So India is evolving. And you know, social media is the thing to it. I can tell you these things. Big media won't say anything. Na? Big media has a vested interest. Either they are for Palestine or for Gaza or they're Israeli. They won't speak the truth. Because they are, whoever pays the monkey organ grinder, what's that phrase? Whoever pay, the tune comes out, whatever you pay. So I think social media is very powerful when normal people like you and I can talk in a normal way. And
I agree. Okay. Okay. First of all, yeah, definitely correct. You know, the media doesn't reflect on things like this. Like India, when it was colonized by the British, literally it was twice as bad as World War II, and no one ever talked about it. So I definitely agree with what you said, and also I find the prime minister situation to be, you know, amazing. Like it's very surprising, and I'm happy for the growth that India is experiencing, and you know they're constantly improving. So another
but you know,
question
when
I have.
India grows, Pakistan will have to grow. If your neighbor is rich, you will start saying, "Arey yaar, what am I doing wrong?" Hannah, by
When you
example,
look at the yeah, but when you look at the neighbor as an enemy, you don't really try to replicate the enemy's behavior. Like we're not really taking any inspiration from India right now.
but Bangladesh is taking no inspiration, though India helped Bangladesh get formed. I actually worked on the Bangladesh border for 3 weeks in immunizing children
Oh,
when they were coming. And if I didn't do that, they'd get cholera, typhoid, they'd pass it, they'd die, the Indian children would die, camps would get wiped out. So I went for 3 weeks doing that. And they're just people, and how much suffering there is in war. I can't begin to tell you. I haven't seen war itself, but I see how people suffer, starving from Bangladesh. And now suddenly Bangladesh is anti-India. India said, okay, India has turned off the diesel, India has turned off electricity. ठीक है, लड़ो.
okay. So another question I have is, when the UK being the sixth largest economy only has a population of 17% of Oh God. Okay, yeah, you don't really ignore this question because you kind of already talked about lower class and the situation. So another question is India economy grew by 90% in the past 10 years, and like I mentioned, fifth largest economy, but 28, 30, 328 million citizens are illiterate, while the UK ranks sixth in the global scale of economy and has only an illiteracy rate of 1%. So what contributes to India's fast-growing economy?
Because literacy does not mean knowledge or information.
No, but it means like reading and
People are not
writing.
people are not educated in this country. A lot of people are they might add 2 and 2 is 4, A, B, C, D, but their emotional intelligence is like nothing. A lot of people in this country don't care about their country. They don't have passion for it. So literacy um, and wisdom are different, you know. Say you go to a village outside Karachi, you'll find lots of old men, women who are not, they've never been to school, but they're very, what's the word? Wise. So, you know, first thing is data, then is information, then is knowledge, then is wisdom. Wisdom is when to apply. So Indians have what is called, and Pakistanis and Bangladeshis, and we are all one same thinking. Have you heard of the word? There's a word that will come to my mind. How you take something and make it work in a different way for something else, like minor creativity. We have that. We can take anything and turn it. As a kid, on my bike, I had a whirling light. I just made it myself. Nobody taught me. Because in India, that is encouraged. Here in the West, so much is given to you, especially in a country that colonized. And it's suffering the karma. Britain is suffering the karma of having colonized the world. Now it's poor. Britain is very poor, actually. The cost of everything is too high. Old people used to get winter allowance if the temperature was below 2 degrees for a few days. That's been cancelled. So England is the sixth. India will become the fourth economy within a few years. And that will go up. You see, I believe if you are aspiring for the best, other people will come up as well. If you're only looking to the ground, garibi hatao, garibi hatao. Okay, another lesson. You know, in neuro-linguistic programming, it is better to go for something. So this is the iPhone, I want it. And the closer I get to it, if I'm this distance, I have an attraction. If I'm half the distance, the attraction is square of, if I'm more, it get more until I get it. But if I'm avoiding poverty, the further you go from poverty, the less effect it has, and you become poor again. So if I say to you, for instance, don't think about a pink elephant with green spots. What are you not thinking about? Pink elephant with green spots. Because the subconscious doesn't have a no in it. I could say to you, drive carefully. Or I could say, don't have an accident. So first you mentally have an accident, then you wipe it out. So erasing poverty is stupid. We need to work towards being rich. The world is rich, you know. In where my son works, a third of the food, he is in the restaurant trade, a third of the food is fed to the pigs. Why do you produce so much? Unless you are happy just to have pigs all over the world. Samajhte na?
Mm-hmm.
America burns, I think, 40% of its food. And yet there are people starving in Africa. The world has to become more integrated, and we are getting integrated. The war is going on in Ukraine. Our prices of gas goes up here. The price of oil in India goes up. We are interconnected. I mean, this is probably made in China, thought of in California, bought by me, repaired by an Indian chap who runs a shop here. So the world is so interconnected. We cannot have us and them. Those times are gone, you know. I wish some Martian landed and blew up Mount Everest. पर सब में दोस्ती हो जाएगी. Then we'll all be great friends. Oh, we don't worry. Muslims are my brothers. Christians are my brothers. Poor, rich. You forget all that nonsense. It's true,
I
you know.
agree.
But sad that war, you need a war for people to become close. And you know, the language is very different. People here talk about diversity, equality, and inclusion. I said, I talk about plurality. As a born Hindu, and say you are a Hindu, you pray to Krishna. That's Krishna, by the way. That. So you pray to Ram. You pray to Allah. हमें कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता है. I don't care. I don't see you as a young Muslim white female. I see you as another person. When we do that, there's no issue. There isn't an issue. We create these issues because behind me, my shadow, अरे उसमें ये खराबी है. But do you know, Buddha said, when you point a finger at someone, 3 are pointing back at you. If you find somebody constantly talking against India, means they love India. भाई छोड़ो ना टॉपिक को पकड़े हुए हैं और constantly, I hate people who smoke. I hate people. Like, what's that an issue? So because I study psychology a lot, there's a national psychology as well. There shouldn't be wars. In war, nobody wins. Some lose more because there are more widows, more orphans, more legless people, and so on. And some have less. Even the one who wins a war, he's also lost a huge amount, that country as well. Nobody wins. One is stupid, you know. I mean, I can discuss something with you, disagree. Why do I have to hit you, kill you? My God. So humans have to evolve, you know. Killing, willing, this is really in the past, you know. That's animals. What do animals? Animals breathe, eat, sleep. Bas. But our brain is so clever, we must find something. There's a female behavior, Bono or some monkey tribe. They go and steal each other's food, just like humans. Badmashi mein. And they're looking for trouble, just like us.
Right. Actually, I was reading this. It was like a philosophy by Schopenhauer. Have you heard about him?
I've heard the name only. I don't know his philosophy. Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me,
Well, he
tell
was
me.
talking. Okay, so in one of his books, it's called The Will and Representation, and the will is he talks about how the will is like our drive, our human drive. So like when we get one thing done, our right now our desire is to let's say that, oh, my desire is to eat, okay, right now. And then after that, after I finish that, that was my goal. And then after that, I want to do something else. And like
So
I'll
it's
never have,
goal driven philosophy. You have to
sorry?
achieve goals. You have to keep achieving goals.
Yeah, no, it's like you say that, oh, after this I'll be happy. But then after you complete that obstacle, then another
You
one
go for
comes,
the next
another.
target, then the next, and you're never happy.
Yeah, and like one thing he was saying about that is that animals, they're content with just eating,
Yes,
sleeping, and they're
yeah.
content with surviving. And he kind of differentiates us living and our drive. Like our drive is to eat and is not to starve, but that's not our will. Our will is the goals we want to achieve and the unnecessary.
But
He kind of quotes it.
if I tell you I have no goals from childhood,
No
देखते
goals.
देखते no,
No, like not necessarily goals is what I'm trying to say. Like when you were studying to become a doctor, then your goal was, oh, my goal is now to complete this exam.
no. I went to Delhi to do physics. I found it so horrible and difficult and boring. I gave up. I thought, अब क्या करें? Engineering very boring. Philosophy, psychology, won't get a job. चलते medicine में. Just like that. I walked in, I got in. My cousin came from
Spontaneous.
UK. My cousin came from UK and said, jaldi, chali, you must come to England. I said, why? He said, the Tories are coming. Tories are Conservative Party, my party. I said, so? They hate foreigners. I said, why should I come? No, before they get in, you must come. I said, my wife is pregnant. So I was a call. Okay. So, and I said to him, why should my wife, he said, your parents will look after her. I don't have a ticket. He said, I'll give you a ticket. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Then that Mevan chap I told you, he told me to be a GP. People always come and give you advice, good people. And I listen. I'm a very careful listener. So I don't have any goals. If tomorrow I die, fine. I want to go to, I'll probably meet you guys. I want my teeth getting done. And I don't have any relatives in India. And my son is too busy. So I'm going to Karachi or Islamabad to have my teeth done. And I keep reminding you, I was born in India. But I like doing the impossible and the.
Fine. Wait, but UK has like one of the best dental care, from what I
Yes,
heard.
it's 30, 40 times the price.
Oh,
It's very, for one tooth done here, I can get my whole upper teeth done. People go to India as well, but I don't have anyone, as I said. In Goa, there's a lovely, see, India delivers technical medicine quite well. But what I did as a doctor was a personalized medicine. By kaise hain, how are you feeling? Do you think your son leaving has made an effect on you? It's very one-to-one. That you cannot replace by any a doctor or algorithm. It's human. Your nani or
okay.
dadi is teaching you in love, teaching you Urdu with love. If you go to a Urdu teacher, he will say, Jaldi karo, ye karo, I have got time. She's got all the time.
Yeah, that's actually kind of true. I can relate to that in like the aspect of when I was, learning the Quran. Sorry, that time I was doing Safara. But
Uh-huh.
compared to how my grandma teach me to how the uh, other person teached me, there was a big difference. And obviously, yeah, love played a big part in that. So another question I have is, okay, another one. Why does India have one of the lowest investment rates and credit rating despite its impressive growth?
I think the world colludes against India.
Okay.
And I've got a theory about it. You know, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism different. They all spread by converting. Hindus just don't believe in convert. India is basically Hindu philosophy. It's secular, but sadly in India, unless you are anti-Hindu, you're not secular. Just like in Britain, if you don't talk against the white guy here, you're not secular. And I don't talk against the white guy. I've got lovely life here. I haven't told you, my youngest son committed suicide. My parents died. My wife left. I was made bankrupt because an English company, I repeat, not Pakistani, not Indian, not Bangladeshi, a white English company called Hunter came, stole 500,000 pounds of my money legally. I gave it to the company, they just swallowed it. And I've got proof. And I've been abused by the press and everyone. I just don't care. So you have to become quite thick-skinned. लेकिन अब यहीं पर हैं, and I'm here to say, I'm here. I'll show you just my height of glory. When I enjoy things, I really enjoy. I'll show it now, so you might see. So I went to the Pakistani Society of Journalists. That's me.
Oh, the one in the green?
That's me in the total, yeah. 2 seconds.
Oh, you're singing.
I'm going to say, yeah.
Are you joking with the audience?
Yeah.
Oh wow, you're good.
So anyway, so
You're good at singing.
well, you are good at singing. You haven't applied yourself.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Yeah, no, I don't sing. I don't sing.
Why don't you?
But you do. Hmm?
I used to be very shy, you know. I wouldn't like to sing. I was very shy. I'm the eldest son. And I thought one day I'll learn the flute. Okay, I'm the only one who plays the flute like this. It should be played like this, like Krishna Bhagwan, like that. I played the wrong way around. So, but I'll tell you the power of a guru, ustad. You have heard that word, ustad, guru, someone teacher. In our culture, Muslim, Hindu, same thing, India, Pakistan. I had an instrument called banjo. Ding a 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 ding. And Kavali and all, they use it now. Okay, it's a very cheap instrument for 15, 20, say about equal to 100 rupees Pakistani today. You'll get one in India. So you're playing like that. When I came, I was on the harmonium like that, and my guru said, "In 3 weeks you'll be on the stage playing the rag with me with your ulta haath, with this haath," and I was. So it isn't that the guru blessed me and some god up entered. Maybe for those who believe, I have no problem. But he gave me so much confidence on the stage. I was playing saga ma dha ni sa ni da ma ga sa sa ma ga ma da ma ni dha ni da sa ni da ma sa ni da ma ga ma ga sa. So I could do that with my right hand, though I'm left with that. So it's a teacher who can really, and this culture is gone in the West. So Britain is the sixth economy, but it's spiritually empty. And they're good people here. They're wonderful people in Pakistan. Nobody listens to them. There's a chap called Hood Boy. Have you heard of Hood Boy?
No, I don't think so.
I have your link. I'll send you some links. There's some wonderful, but nobody listens to them. Everybody is after. You know the mall you had, the Dream something mall, where 1 lakh people went and completely ate up the whole shop. What is this here? Somebody from abroad went and opened a big mall in Karachi. And when they opened, 1 million people went and stole everything. In Karachi, your Karachi.
I did not know that. This is the first time I'm hearing.
I'm sorry I gave you such negative news. So
oh, no, it's fine.
Dekho, I'll show you something. That is the television. It's not been on all the time I've been in this country. I used to be a total television addict. Total. You know the 9/11 thing that happened in America. Who did it? I don't care. I used to work. As I said, I lived upstairs. I used to work, come back home, switch it on. Work, come back home. Hungry for violence. So to me, violence and porn are exactly the same thing. I don't watch. If I'm watching something on this and something vulgar, I switch it off. Why should I watch? Why should I pollute my mind with such absolute jahil rubbish and be party? Because if you watch something, the rating goes up. So slowly, when Lady Di died, have you heard of Lady Diana Spencer, Prince
Yeah,
Charles's wife?
yeah,
So
yeah,
when
I
she
heard
died,
it.
I didn't know for 8 days. I became so away from news.
Wait, so how do you keep up with like what's happening in your country and what's happening
YouTube,
in India?
YouTube. No, no, my. By the way, my country is Britain.
Yeah, I said your country and India.
No, on Facebook, on sort of YouTube, I click something happening in India, listen to the first headline, next, next, next. There's too much information in the world, no?
Right, but don't you
Pakistan.
think like sorry, you go.
No, no, don't I think what? Go on, go on.
Thank you. Don't you think that if you just read the headline, then it could be kind of misinforming since
But
usually.
it's all misinformation anyway. I study
Oh,
the
okay.
mind. I watch. There's a chap called Jordan Peterson, Canadian guy. He's a proper
Yeah,
guru. He talks about all. Have you heard of him?
yeah, yeah. I love his psychology.
Well,
He has
fine.
some.
Yeah, we are on the same path, and about the psyche and what is marriage about. Religion is fine, but religion is a little out of date. And as I say, religion is to that region. So Islam and all the three Abrahamic faiths, they all came from one place. By the way, I've been to Israel. I was there 14 days. I do funny things. I'm not a Muslim, I'm not a Jew, but chale gaye.
You're very spontaneous.
Tafri, chalo dekhte hain kya hota hai. So I always like new experience. Um, I mean, I've been to Pakistan. I don't know what China. See, every culture has something to give you. Every culture has something to give you. I don't like the Chinese government, itna bhi. Not this much. But their one child policy has completely failed because now there are lots of old people, nobody to look after them. So, things shouldn't happen by revolution. It's a slow, gradual process. Look at India, this country called, what are those islands who said, out, India, out, India, out. India could have gone and bombed them and flattened them and anything, shut off the water. India said, bacha hai, stupid hai, let him be. Bangladesh also, India is not going to give her back. This lady saw the death of 32 of her family members. And, breaking the statue of the guy who made Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina's father. How can you break his statue, man? What's he done wrong? He got killed. He and 31 members got killed. And Sheikh Hasina and her sister fled to Germany and then came back. And no one is perfect. I'm sure Indira Gandhi wasn't perfect. Maggie Thatcher wasn't perfect. Because women in power have to have an extra to be equal to the men. Because they're different, isn't it? They have to prove themselves. Like I, as an Asian with a brown skin, have to prove myself in this country. I don't mind. I don't mind working twice, 3 times as hard. My campaign manager just said, I'm very tired, I can't come. Do you know why? Because you and I are taking longer than half an hour. So God said to him, you're quite
Right.
tired, go and rest. By God, that's the absolute truth. Scott Jewett. So what I'm saying to you is, seriously, the world is too small for jhagra. I mean, the world is too tiny for, we're on the same little bit of mud. You are reading philosophy at this age. It's so beautiful what you're saying. So you're
Thank you.
beyond the race and the tribe and the Karachi and the Islam and the girl. Chodo wo sab, you're a human being and you deserve to grow. There's another chap called Sadhguru, Sadhguru. Have you heard of him?
Can you
Sadhguru,
repeat his name?
Sadhguru, Sadhguru. He's a living legend in India. He's born in a Hindu family, but he doesn't believe in
Oh, I think I
religion.
saw about his book.
With a dari and his turban. He
No,
also
I don't.
he's got a sense of humor. Humor is making fun of yourself, not of other people. So
Mm-hmm.
I make an ass of myself, no problem. I wear red. And on
Okay. Okay, I got
14th
it.
October, 14th October, I'll be 78. How old is your grandmother? How old are they?
Oh, okay, this is hard. I would guess like somewhere around 60.
Well, they're kids, na, to me. And yet, when I go there, I'll say, Namaste, Banji, Sat Sri Akal ji, Assalamu alaikum. Because they want to look, because they're fitted in with societal values. So you don't have to be a rebel. My mother, she was a total rebel, but she dressed like a normal sari. You know, the Mars mission was designed by 4 Indian Hindu married women. I repeat, because they look like normal boring bahanjis. They weren't in the tatty jeans and low-cut blouse, nothing. So you can have both, you know. I have so many experiences of India. I go to ICIC Bank, and a Panditji comes with his tanga 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 laddu kha, laddu kha. He blesses the bank and moves on. What's the bank got to do with a bloody priest? Then I went to Barclays Bank in Nehru Place in Delhi. Very pretty lady sitting in the foyer, and the chambers were all round. And she's sitting there, and the bell rang. So I said, Behenji, aapka turn hai. She said, no, I'm the manager. I'm watching the behavior of the staff.
Oh, that was a fail on your
He was the
part.
boss man. But you know, I'm used to female bosses. When my mother ran the employment exchange, she said, boys used to come and laugh. And she said, "Has kyun rahe ho? I'm trying to get you a job." बहन हमने कभी किसी औरत को भाषण देते नहीं सुना. They're not used to a woman on the microphone. For them, it's very strange. It's like women taxi drivers here. You got women bus drivers, women taxi drivers, women earth moving equipment. But it takes brains. It doesn't need heavy muscles.
Exactly. You know, one thing that you said interested me was like, oh, you have to try 2 times harder and stuff. And one thing I like, you know, it's pretty common knowledge now that men are physically, genetically, they're physically stronger. And like,
Yeah.
even if you were a woman and you were to work 2 times, more than 2 times as hard to gain muscle, you wouldn't gain as much muscle as
Yeah.
someone who does it 2 times less.
Genetic,
A
that's
man.
how it's designed. Yeah. But
Yeah,
as
like
time,
metaphorically, it's crazy.
no, but see, the industrial, the wars, I'm talking about the West, gave women the power, because the men were out fighting. Somebody had to make the bombs and all the ammunition. So women started wearing trousers. And when the war was over, they said, go back in a skirt. They said, no, we won't go back in a skirt. We like the trousers. It gives us freedom. So that was the industrial revolution. So to drive a car, and especially modern cars, where it has what do you call? It has got servo. You don't have to go like that with the steering wheel, and the brake is not hard. It's power assisted. Okay. Then comes AI. AI, where do you need women? Men. What's the difference? In fact, women are calmer generally. Women have periods, so they're used to pain. Women bring up children. Women are used to multitasking, so they do better. They don't get rattled so quickly. And now they've got artificial intelligence. इसमें man woman का तो फर्क ही नहीं है ना. Is there? Sorry, I keep bursting because you encourage. There is no difference whatsoever. So slowly all that will come. Even today in the British police, women get 20% less pay than the men for exactly the same job, because they don't get that high. People can say they don't ask enough. So when I joined Newcastle Medical School as a teacher, there was very great shortage of girls, about 30% girls and 70% boys. So the government said, okay, 50% seat for the girls, positive discrimination. Then what happens is the girls come in 50-50, and okay, they're a bit not clever in the beginning, and then all the smart girls start coming in. But then when they go out, the girls work, because they're clever, work part-time. So you created a workforce of equals where the women are part-time. So now they removed that. And now those girls who like, women who like working full-time, despite a husband who doesn't mind babysitting this and that and the other. Okay. So society has to adjust, you know. And that's why I say the holy books are there to guide our spirit, not the road, not the politics. And that's where I've succeeded. Of course, I'm a Hindu. I can quote from the Gita. The only thing I've learned from the Gita is this. It's not a holy book. It's a workbook. And it's not for Hindus. It doesn't talk about Hindus. It says insan ko, humans should never look for results. They should just contribute to society. And I truly believe that. I've lived that. I don't care if I passed, failed. It doesn't matter. I've done my bit.
Okay. You know, actually, I heard like people have been recommending the Gita as a philosophical book, like
Yeah,
if
it
you're
is.
interested in philosophy.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting. Also, what you mentioned about women getting paid 25% less in the US, there's
Yeah,
actually a bit of,
20% less in Britain, even now.
oh, listen
But
too.
then you
Okay.
can say the women aspire for worse jobs. Because, you know, men can't have babies, and women are softer natured, and women are kinder genetically. I'll give an example. If I have a fight, I'm slightly different. I'm a bit older and I'm a bit womanly myself. I won't punch someone, but the men do. They get drunk and punch. There will be stupid women who will do that. But generally, Women kind of cancel somebody. Arey, don't you know that girl is bad? Oh, I've seen her with that. Don't talk to her. So the girl is the deletion process. This fellow, Jordan Peterson, was talking about that. Male violence is physical, shouting, smashing, breaking, war. That's a very masculine behavior. Women cancel by, don't talk to her, don't talk to her, exclude her, make her feel small.
Right. Okay, so what I was saying about the 25%, by the way, that was a really nice statement. And what I wanted to say was that actually it's a bit of a misunderstanding. If you look at the statistics, then women who work from home, like let's say a data scientist, compared to a man, there's a very, very small to little to literally no difference in the payment because
Okay.
of of the timing and because it's like a remote job. So mostly
So it
when
hasn't to do with the gender, it has to do with the work style.
a bit because
Okay, okay,
some
okay.
like if you were in a business, okay, marketing, then
Hmm.
after that they kind of prioritize you being there for meetings, you being able to pick up the
Yeah, yeah,
call
yeah,
and
yeah,
just
yeah.
run to the office. And
If you
sometimes, yeah, and you know how like usually it's women, like in most countries you could say that take care of the kids usually, and some people view the dad when they're taking care of the kids as babysitting, not parent sitting. So usually women can't quickly run to their office and then go to the meeting because they
oh
have
yeah, yeah,
kids
it
at
is.
home.
It is a much harder job. Um,
Yeah.
it's
So what I'm
changing
trying
though.
to
But I can tell you, even in India, in Delhi, it's changing. I know cases where the new daughter-in-law, it says two-bedroom house where the widowed mother is Sas, the mother-in-law, and when things get bad, she's saying, "Here's the keys. I have bought a flat half a mile away. When your son breaks loose from you, he's welcome. Otherwise, keep him," because she's got a job. So when there's equality, and Sadhguru, I liked a man-woman thing. One girl who had a low-cut blouse and tatty jeans, whatever stone-washed jeans. He said, "Do women attract trouble?" He said, "No, women don't attract trouble, but we have lived in a society where women were very sheltered. When the invaders came, whether they were from barbarians or whether they were Turkey or whether they were English, we kept our women hidden away. So they're used to. Now, when they come out, they're not used to talking to men. Whereas in English, you've been in Dubai, it's a pretty modern place. England, yeah, I can talk to any woman, nothing special. But I'll ask you one question. What do you do? She said, "I'm a businesswoman." He said, "Go on your iPad and type typical American woman dress." And when it came out, it shows collar up to here, buttoned up to here, smart suit, buttons everywhere. And she said, that is the image of a businesswoman. So by your clothes, you're telling people who you are. You're giving signals. It's like a signboard. I'm never saying that the woman's dress, she deserves anything. But by how you dress, you're giving signals. Jordan Peterson says the same thing. He says, how you dress, you're giving an image of, are you modern? Are you old? Are you traditional? Are you this faith, that faith? Like the Sikhs having a turban. Immediately know Sardarji hai. Muslim with a beard and cap, straight away. Looking at you, I can't tell you whether you're Indian or Turkey or Chinese or what. I just see a modern young girl. That's it. I can't tell that you're Muslim in any shape or form, or that you're Hindu or Rajput or upper caste, lower caste. I can't tell. So people have changed, and the world is coming together, and there will be difficulties. I personally believe the India-Pakistan border should be just ripped up. Okay, there'll be a bit bombing here and there, but over time people will get fed up. They'll enjoy each other's company and they'll forget all this nonsense. My own sister, my own brother-in-law was in the Indian Air Force, and his son was a fighter pilot tester. And my sister would say, "Arey, you talk to Muslims all the time. Pakistanis, oh, we'll be in danger." I said, "Look, if because of my talking, one brick less is on the Wagah border, or the war is delayed by 1 microsecond, I'll gladly do that. You can stay scared. I'm not asking you. You don't talk to me, that's fine. I'm my own person, bhai. I don't have to listen to my sister and her brother-in-law. I enjoy Pakistan. I enjoy Pakistan. End of story."
okay. Okay, that's really nice. And unfortunately, my charge is running out, and I think I've taken way too much of your time
Okay.
at this point. So, this basically rounds up this interview. Thank you so much for answering all of the questions with like so much emotions, like lots of expressions, and I learned a lot from you right now. And I'm not just saying that because I need to end this interview. I really think I got something from you. I love your answers. So thank you so much. It was really nice talking to
And
you.
tell your parents, if any way I can help you get into Britain, I'm there.
Thank you
Any
so
way
much.
possible, if that's your desire. If you need someone to sponsor you something, more than happy. I just lie. I say when I went to Pakistan, I met this family, lovely family, and jhoot bolna. I always tell lies for greater good, so I can
You
tell
can.
lies.
You sure you can even do that?
Yeah.
Like,
You
you
know
won't
what?
do a background check?
No. But thing is, I support people from the just from the goodness of my heart. I have nothing to gain, but if someone as bright as you can have the experience of Britain, if there's a student exchange, when I come, I'll meet you. When I'll come to Karachi, I'll come to Korangi school anyway.
Oh, really?
I
When?
will. I was talking to Aurangzeb, and I said, Aurangzeb, he said one day we'll have a day where we call Rehan Sahab to give them tea. They live in Clifton Road, which is a posh area near the sea. So they're very rich. They're called Pall. They're like the Vaderas. Vaderas were rich Hindus. When they left, these guys took over. Like were the zamindars, and they're very, very rich. They've got 100 acres of mango and this and that. But why not share it with knowledgeable people? Why? That's what I love, is connecting different people.
Okay. Okay, that's really cool. So you're coming to Kurangi, right? Like Rahan's
I will.
Kurangi campus.
October, November sometime for my teeth, but that's just the excuse. I will come to Pakistan again.
Okay.
I enjoy breaking barriers, as you know.
Okay, so then we'll definitely meet.
We will.
Okay. Then this rounds it up. Your teeth are already fine anyways, but thank you for doing this interview. It was lovely.
Thank you. And when you put this up, just send me a link so I can share it out. Okay. Allah Hafiz. Bye bye.
Sure. Okay.